Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong has announced another round of cabinet changes and political appointments. They are aimed at addressing Singapore's priorities and challenges as the country moves towards its next phase of development. This is the third round of changes after the 2011 general elections.
Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong says Singapore is going through an important transition. There's a push to strengthen social safety nets through the introduction of measures such as the Pioneer Generation Package and MediShield Life. Mr. Lee said these major policy shifts require good political leadership, close coordination across ministries, effective ground implementation and strong support from Singaporeans. So, Acting Manpower Minister Chuan-Jin and Acting Minister for Culture, Community and Youth Lawrence Wong will both be promoted to full ministers from May 1st. Mr. Wong will also be promoted to Second Minister for Communications and Information. Mr. Lee said they've performed well since taking office and mastered their portfolios. He added they've also worked hard on the ground, winning the respect and trust of Singaporeans. The social sector is getting a boost with the promotion of Sam Tan to Minister of State for Culture, Community and Youth, and in the Prime Minister's office. He will coordinate the delivery of Singapore's social policies across multiple ministries and implementation on the ground. To focus on this, Mr. Tan will relinquish his appointments in the Foreign Affairs Ministry and as Mayor of Central Singapore CDC. The Health Ministry, which is also spearheading major policy reviews, will get an additional Minister of State with the appointment of Dr. Lam Pin Min. Mr. Lee said Dr. Lam will play an important role in the Health Ministry's efforts to review policies and develop new models of care. He added Dr. Lam's professional expertise as a doctor will also be useful in designing policies and engaging the community of healthcare professionals. There will be two new mayors. Denise Phua will take over Mr. Sam Tan as Mayor of Central Singapore CDC, while Mayor for Southwest CDC Dr. Amy Khor will relinquish her post as she focuses on her new role as co-chair of the Pioneer Generation Task Force. Mr. Lee said Dr. Khor will focus on implementing the Pioneer Generation Package and helping Singapore's pioneers understand and benefit from the package. Taking over Dr. Khor as Mayor at Southwest CDC is Loh Yen Ling. The new mayor appointments are effective 27th May. Ms. Loh will also be appointed as Parliamentary Secretary in the Culture, Community and Youth Ministry. Mr. Lee said at MCCY, Ms. Loh will help implement the Youth Corp Singapore program and expand Singapore's youth outreach initiatives, as well as strengthen efforts to engage the arts community and Chinese cultural and clan groups. Now, observers say this latest round of changes is part of the government's continued leadership renewal process, with the country's fourth generation of leaders slowly taking shape. Now, as the Prime Minister himself puts it, he will be making further reshuffles from time to time to make sure that the best team is in place for Singapore.
Well, Acting Manpower Minister Chuan-Jin has attributed his promotion to full minister to the hard work put in by those who have served with him. He says he will remain focused on his work and responsibilities regardless of any change in his appointments.
The priorities don't change just because your appointments change. The things that remain important continue to remain important, whether it's big policy work or even very tactical work on the ground in terms of how you work with residents and reaching out to those who need help. Those things continue, and these things continue regardless of what happens, and you just got to continue to apply yourself to it.
In a statement, Mr. Lawrence Wong says his ministry will continue to look at ways to enable Singaporeans to lead more fulfilling lives through the arts, sports and community involvement. He added that the ministry has rolled out new initiatives like making museum entry free for all Singaporeans, launching Active SG as a national movement for sports and setting up the Youth Corps. But he says much more has to be done, and he looks forward to working with partners and stakeholders to make Singapore a distinctive and endearing home. Well, as you heard, Mr. Sam Tan will be promoted to Minister of State in the Prime Minister's office and the Cultural, Community and Youth Ministry. Now, he says his immediate priority is to ensure that new measures such as the Pioneer Generation Package and MediShield Life are fully communicated to Singaporeans.
For every major program or policy, the last mile delivery is always the most crucial. So if we are able to deliver the service clearly, efficiently, warmly and friendly to the people, then I think the recipients of the service or the program will feel that their concerns have been addressed, and then their views have been heard, and the most important thing is that they feel that they really can benefit from the programs.